Yay. So here we go. I thought tonight we continue on with our exploration of mindfulness and particularly, again, looking at it through the lens of the breath. Um, but this time, trying to shine a light just a little bit more on the front body. So thinking about opening the belly and the chest. And again, we know from our own exploration that the breath is a three-dimensional experience, right? The lungs are three-dimensional. Our body is three-dimensional. So it's only right that the breath is a three-dimensional experience. And while we can't really just isolate one part, I would just like to, again, just shine this light on this area so that we maybe create a little more room for the diaphragm to move with a little more freedom and for the lungs to expand with a little more freedom. So that said, I'd love to take a blanket. Again, having two blocks would be great, or two pillows would be great. Having your strap and two blankets in a chair. We're going to take one of our blankets and something like this, something rectangular-like, and fold it along the long side so it makes just a thinner rectangular shape, which you're going to run down the center of your yoga mat. And we'll come to sit in front of it. And there might be a little bit of space between your lower back and the blanket, but I would love for your whole spine to be supported. Now, if you get here and your lower back is feeling cranky, you could put another blanket about the same height under your bum. That would be fine. And if your head needs a little support, you could put a thin blanket just to elevate your head a little bit so that the back of your skull is on the ground. Then we're going to let the arms just to fall out to the sides, and let's turn the arms out so the palms face the sky. So just making that choice to create just a soft opening through the front of the chest and the front of the shoulders. Your knees are welcome to stay bent. Give yourself just a couple of moments to settle in. And when you feel settled, start to turn your attention to your breathing. And as always, right, keeping it super simple. Just noticing when you breathe in and noticing when you breathe out, and making that your practice, your exploration for the next few moments. Jon Kabat-Zinn, in his book, Mindfulness for Beginners, wrote that the breath is coming in and going out of your body all the time. And since we can't leave home without it, our breathing can serve as a convenient first object of attention to bring us back into the present moment. Because we're only breathing now, the last breath is gone, the next one hasn't come yet. It is always a matter of this one. So it is an ideal anchor for our wayward attention. It keeps us in the present moment. Again, feel this breath when it comes in, this very one. And feel this breath when it goes out. And if you like, you can expand your attention to noticing the way the breath feels as you breathe in through your nose. And you breathe out through your nose. So just noticing the way the air feels against your nostrils. You might expand your attention to notice the rhythm of your breath. You might even notice what parts of you in this particular shape are moving as you breathe. I'll stay for just a moment more, continuing to observe your breath like this. We're coming back simply to just breathing in and just breathing out, and even using that phrase. And staying with the rhythm of your breath, like a little snow angel, the next time you inhale, allow your arms to sweep against the ground, up alongside your ears, as far as you can take them while the hands stay on the earth. And as you exhale, let your arms sweep all the way back out and down. And moving with your inhale, the same little motion, letting your arms sweep against the ground, taking them as close by your ears as you comfortably can, so no discomfort. And as you exhale, letting your arms sweep down along the ground till they arrive somewhere close to your hips. And we'll do it like that one more time. And then we'll just let the arms rest heavy. Now, if your legs are outstretched, go ahead and bend your knees so that your feet are on the ground. And the next time you inhale, like the wings of a butterfly, allow your thighs to rotate outward so that your knees fall out and the bottoms of your feet come together, like Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. And then as you exhale, bring your knees back up so your thighs rotate in and to neutral. As you inhale, let your thighs externally rotate so that your knees fall away from each other like the wings of a butterfly opening. And then when you exhale, go ahead and close those wings back up. I'm going to do it like that one more time. Moving with a gentle rhythm of your breath. Now I'd love to link those two movements, your arms and your legs together. So when you inhale, your arms are going to sweep up by your ears, tracing that circle on the ground as your thighs rotate out and your knees fall away. And then as you exhale, let your arms sweep back down, bring your knees back up, you're back to the starting position. Let's do it like that two more times. Breathing in, opening up your butterfly wings, letting your arms sweep out and up. And as you exhale, bringing the arms down, bringing the knees up. And one more time. And then just taking a moment to pause again, to feel your breath. Just noticing if you have a different awareness of it. And then when you're ready to exhale, go ahead and roll on over to one side, whichever side is most comfortable or most available. Let your top hand find the earth. We'll breathe all the way up to sit. And you can sit right on your blanket. I'm going to fold mine and serve, so that I have a slightly higher perch. You're going to choose how high your blanket is based on your pelvis, right? So where's that spot where the pelvis is upright and the spine is upright with all of its curves? Good, and we'll let the hands just come to rest nice and easy on your thighs. And we'll start with just some little shoulder circles here, circling your shoulders back a few times. Maybe finding a little freedom through your shoulder joints and through your shoulder blades. One more time like that. And then we'll circle them forward. Terrific. And then again, we'll just let the arms be heavy. Let's invite those hands now to come off your thighs. You're going to turn your arms to your palms face each other. Your elbows a little snug by your waist. We'll do those little robot arm movements. As you inhale, let's draw the elbows back like you're pressing them into an imaginary wall behind you, and let your shoulder blades lightly hug in and move down towards your waist. And when you exhale, just let your arms slide out a little forward. When you inhale, draw your elbows back, let your chest open. And as you exhale, let your arms slide a little forward. We're just going to add on. Go ahead and draw your elbows back. Now outstretch your arms behind you, even draw the fingertips back. And when you exhale, we'll just float the arms forward. And one more time, just like that, before we add on. Drawing the elbows back, unfolding the arms, drawing the fingertips back. And exhale, let the arms come forward. Now this time, as you inhale, let the arms sweep back out and behind you, and gently lift your heart toward the sky. As you exhale, curl from your pelvis through your head, and maybe your arms give you a light little wrap, little hug. As you inhale, from the pelvis, tilt forward. Let the arms sweep out and back behind you. Let the chest not only open, but even lift a little bit. And then as you exhale, from your pelvis, curl and round. So it's a little seated cat-cow, a little hug. Let's do it 2 more times, breathing in. This is also sometimes known as breath of joy, as you open up your heart and breathe out. And you take in all that wonderful inhale. Here we go. And exhale and round. Now with your next inhale, let's sit up, the pelvis upright, the spine upright. Let's reach the arms right up to the sky, reaching through your fingertips. And then we'll let the right hand find the earth and just take a little moment to side bend over. And breathe your breath in. And breathe your breath out. And then as you inhale, we'll scoop on up. And we'll take it over to the other side. And a little breath in. And a breath out. When you're ready to breathe in, we'll scoop both arms up. And we'll make a little twist to the right. And tonight, let's let the hands come lightly down. And just stay a moment and breathe in. And breathe out. And then when you inhale, we'll float the arms back up. And a little twist, and just let the hands come lightly down. So they're not forcing you into the twist, just creating a little support. And then when you inhale, we'll scoop all the way back up. I'm going to stay in the center with your ribs right over your hips and let the arms open out like a T shape. And just take a moment to feel your wingspan, your fingers actively reaching. I'm going to rotate the arms out so the palms face skyward. And then we'll rotate the arms in so the palms end up facing behind you, but really working from the shoulder all the way down. Again, we'll rotate the arms out so the palms face more skyward. And we'll rotate the arms in so the palms face a little bit behind you. Let's check it in one more time. This might be your breath in. And then this might be your breath out. Now let's take your arms back to neutral, your palms facing forward, and let your left hand come to rest on your thigh. Your right arm can stay out to the side. And then from here, I'm going to rotate that right arm inward so the palm faces behind you. You're going to bend your elbow and bring your hand toward your lower back, or as far across your lower back as you can find it. So it might stop right here, and that's fine. It might go center. It might go all the way across. And then as you inhale, you'll unfold your arm and externally rotate it. And then go ahead, as you exhale, internally rotate it, take it across as far as you comfortably can, no pain, no discomfort. And then unfold it and externally rotate it. I'm going to do it like that one more time. Now, as you inhale, unfold it, reach it out to the side. And let's make a twist again to the right and reach your right arm straight back behind you, or as far as you can back behind you. Stay in that little twist and gently turn your head to go over your opposite shoulder. And breathe your breath, keep the chin a little soft. And just notice where you feel your breath here. One more breath. And then as you inhale, we'll come back to the center and release that arm. And then we'll check everything in on the other side. So let's breathe the left arm out to the side. And as you exhale, you're going to rotate it in so your palm faces more behind you, and take your arm across your lower back as far as you comfortably can. It doesn't have to come all the way over. Then as you inhale, unfold your arm. Again, there's the rotation happening all the way up to the shoulder socket. Then rotate it in from there gently, right? Nothing harsh. And one more time, we'll unfold it and externally rotate it. And one more time, we'll internally rotate it, bend your elbow and take your arm behind you. Now, as you inhale, go ahead, unfold it, externally rotate it, but leave it so the palm is facing forward for a moment. Then wrap your ribs around to the left and reach as far back behind you as you can with that arm. And then maybe explore turning your head to peek over the other shoulder. Let the shoulder stay heavy. And see if you can find some nooks and crannies to breathe into. One more breath. And then we'll slowly breathe it back to the center. Let both hands just come to rest for a moment on your thighs. And again, just take the time to experience your breath. And then from here, we'll do a little shift out onto your hands and your knees. And as you get there, you are welcome to unfold your blanket and or whatever padding you would like for your knees. And I'd also encourage you to organize your blocks or your books right at the front of your yoga mat, just so that they're right there within hand's reach, ready to go. And then we'll set up in a little tabletop. Your hips above your knees as wide as your hips, your hands as wide as your shoulders, and as much under your shoulders as your wrists are willing to do tonight. Invite a little spread through your fingers. And then here, just invite a little external rotation so that your inner armpits your inner elbow pits rather, start to turn a little maybe toward the opposite corner of your yoga mat or even a little forward. Right? You don't have to overly crank that. But let's just work a bit of that action. I'm going to try to keep that. And as you exhale, we're going to move into a little cat pose, curling and rounding. Then when you inhale, let's move into a little cow pose. Notice the length from your pubic bone to your breastbone, that belly chest starting to open. And then as you exhale, curl and round. So that front part of the body gets a little compressed. And then as you inhale, the front body gets a little bit of lengthening. Go ahead and move with your breath a couple more times through each of those poses. Good, and one more time through each. And then we're going to dial it back to neutral. Again, keep that little pushing of the ground away. Keep that light feeling of rotating your arms right up in the shoulder sockets outward so that those inner elbows are pointing maybe toward the opposite corner of your mat or even a little forward. I'd love for you to root down just a little bit more into your left hand and invite your torso to turn a little to the right so your right hand lightens up, maybe even lifts. And then we'll return the torso to center your right hand to the ground. Let's check it in on the other side. Little rooting down through that right hand as you turn your torso to the left, letting your left hand float off the ground or just get a little light. Then turn the torso down, let your left hand find the earth. So we're going to add on to that. As you breathe in, outstretch your right leg behind you with the toes on the ground. Keep your strong arm. And then rotate your thigh out so that the bottom of your foot comes to the ground. And make a little kickstand with your left leg out behind you. Start to root down into your left hand. And start to turn your torso to the right. And as you do, let your hand lift. And maybe your right hand finds your right hip. And then from here, let's bring in something that we already did. As you inhale, stretch your arm and turn your arm so your palm faces right in front of you in the same direction as your chest, as your heart. Now, as you exhale, you're going to internally rotate your arm, bend your elbow, take it behind you, and let your head turn down to look toward the ground. And then as you inhale, unfold that arm, externally rotating it. Maybe your face turns to look up at your hand. As you exhale, internally rotate it, take it behind you, and gently look down. Then as you inhale, unfold it, externally rotating it up to the sky. Maybe you look up. And one more time, externally rotate it, drape it behind you and look down. And then just stay a moment and breathe in. And breathe out. Keep anchoring through your foot as you reach through the center of your skull. One more breath. And then as you inhale, unfold that arm. Externally rotate it as it comes on up. And then as you exhale, turn your torso down. Let your hand find its way to the earth. Bring both knees back underneath you. You're back into a little tabletop. And find your breath in. And find your breath out. As you find your next inhale, let's outstretch your left leg. And you're going to spin your left heel to the ground. So there's that external rotation of your thigh. And then kickstand your other leg out behind you so you feel pretty stable here. Spread into your whole hand, your fingertips on the right side, and start to turn your torso to the left. Let your left arm find its way to your hips for just a moment. You feel, again, super stable here. Then as you inhale, we're going to upstretch that arm. And for the moment, let's take the palm and the heart facing the same direction. And then when you exhale, we're going to internally rotate it so your palm ends up facing behind you, and bend your elbow, drape that arm behind you, and gently turn your head down. Then as you inhale, unfold that arm to the sky, and maybe you turn your face to look up. If it doesn't feel good to turn your head like that, you can just turn your head to face forward again. As you exhale, internally rotate it. Only take it as far behind you as feels gentle and comfortable in your shoulder. Again, no pulling. As you inhale, unfold that arm. Maybe you look forward, maybe you look up. And one more time. Internally rotate it, drape it behind you. A little look down, and breathe, softening that left shoulder away from your ear. Noticing the little pockets of breath for your breath, pockets of space for your breath. And then as you inhale, unfold that arm back up to the sky. We're going to turn the torso downward so that your hand comes down to find the earth, and we'll bring both knees underneath you. Then take a moment to breathe in, and take a moment to breathe out. And then from here, friends, let's come down to the elbows, your elbows right under your shoulders for a moment. Let your head bow in. See if you can let your abdominal muscles soften here. And when you think you've softened them, try to soften them a little bit more. I'll invite one more breath. And then from here, we'll ease our way down, all the way onto your belly. When you arrive on your belly, we're going to walk the hands out a bit wider than your shoulders and a bit maybe in line with your head. You can play around with this organization of the arms. See if you can feel your palms against the earth, your fingertips against the earth. Likewise, feel the tops of your feet and all of your toenails against the earth. Now the belly is kind of stuck here, right? So just take a moment to feel where the breath can go. And then the next time you inhale, you're going to root into your hands, press the earth away, and start to lift your chest. And let the shoulders stay soft away from your ears. And then as you exhale, reach your heart forward to lower all the way back down. So a little variation on a cobra. As you inhale, again, push down into your hands and gently lift your chest, soft shoulders. Good. Stay long through your legs, like your toes and your heart reaching away from each other. As you exhale, reach your heart forward to come all the way down. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in your breath, coiling your spine upright, using the hands for this moment as a little support, and then coiling back down. And then let's walk the hands back just a little more under your shoulders and slowly press up. Let's come back to your elbows and your knees again. Let the head and the face soften. Let the belly muscles soften. And just see if you can feel the breath moving into the front of your body. Imagine the whole front of your body, your belly, the muscles, the organs, all falling to the earth very softly. And let's enjoy one more breath. And then from here, friends, we'll press all the way back up. And I love one of two things. Let me say it this way. You can either kneel on your knees, if that feels okay. You could choose to stand, or you could choose to sit maybe up on a block so that you've got some room. And we're going to use our strap here. So this could be an option too. Okay? Just want you to have some room behind you. And so we're going to use our strap in one of my most favorite ways, where we're going to loop it up behind us pretty taut. And your arms might be a little bit wider than your shoulders, depending on how the fronts of the shoulders are feeling right now. Or they could be shoulder width. Wherever you are, I'd love for you to imagine you're like in Tadasana. So the pelvis is upright and neutral. The ribs, your ribs are right over your pelvis. Right, you can think about your hip points and your low ribs pretty much in the same vertical plane. Your head right over that. And so this is really going to be a real thought process as we move the arms behind us, because the head might start to migrate forward to counterbalance the movement of the arms. Well, let's take a moment to organize the arms so that when you're holding your strap, you're going to rotate your arms so that your palms would face each other or your fingers would face each other. And keeping everything pretty neutral, as you inhale, lift your arms. As you exhale, lower them. So working some of the muscles in the back of the shoulders, in between the shoulder blades, to create a little opening through the front of the shoulders, the front of the chest. Hopefully creating a little more room for your lungs to receive the breath. And let's try this 4 more times. If you're already feeling fatigued, that's fine. You can stop. And last one. Now, I'd love for you to keep that strap somewhere nearby. Honestly, sometimes I just drape it around my neck. So I have it and I don't have to go reaching for it. You can do whatever you want. And then from here, let's crawl out to find our hands on our highest of blocks, or it could even be your chair seat, something that gives you some room. And then from here, we're going to step your own personal right foot forward with your heel and your knee pretty much stacked one on top of the other. And if your foot's a little forward, that's fine, because actually what we're going to do is this. When you exhale, we're going to glide the hips a little forward towards your front heel. And even here, more or less your knee above your ankle. And then when you exhale, we're going to glide the hips a little back, so your front leg might lengthen a little bit. Again, we're going to glide the hips a little forward. Keep your shoulders nice and easy. Glide your hips back, and you'll notice I'm walking the blocks back and forth, just so that there isn't that temptation to round. We're going to glide again a little forward, and we'll glide again a little back. Good, let's glide forward. Take a breath in. Root your hands into your block, and let's bring that right foot back underneath you. Let's take a breath in. And when you exhale, let's step your left foot forward. Again, I might walk the foot a little forward of the knee, knowing where we're going. When you exhale, we're going to glide the hips a little forward, making sure your front knee is still tracking straight ahead of you, and then gliding your hips back. As you inhale, gliding the hips a little forward. As you exhale, gliding a little back. One more time, gliding a little forward and gliding a little back. And then we'll glide it forward. Press into your block and bring your left knee back. All right, let's take the right foot forward with your next exhale and maybe step it a little forward of your knee. And once again, we're going to glide the hips a little forward. Give a little hug of your inner legs towards each other, and you have a couple of options. You can pause right here, pressing your fingertips into your blocks, bringing your chest more upright, and bring in that little feeling of cow pose. That would be option one. Or option two would be either using your strap or your own personal hands to connect behind you. So it might be the same strap loop that we just did, or you might interlace your fingers, drawing your hands towards each other, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, and gently lifting the heart. Wherever you land, we're going to do 2 more breaths. Trying to enjoy that breath all the way up into the space below your collarbone. And then as you inhale, release your hands to your block. And as you exhale, slide your knee back underneath you. And let's enjoy a breath in. As you exhale, we'll step the left foot forward. You can wiggle it a little forward and glide your hips a little forward and down. And you might stay here with that light little hugging of your legs toward this imaginary midline of your body. You can rise to your fingertips on your blocks and just lift your heart, or connect the hands either with a strap or your own 2 hands hugging. And see if you can feel now those shoulder blades and the muscles in the backs of your shoulders contracting to open the chest, to open some space for your lungs, and breathe 2 more breaths. Feel the fullness of your breath. And then as you breathe in, release your hands to your block. And when you exhale, we'll slide the knee back. Terrific. Take a moment just to have a sit, however you'd like to sit, so you can come back and experience your breath. Noticing if there's any newfound freedom or newfound areas where your breath is going. And then from here, we'll do a little shift so that your feet swivel off to the left and you come to sit on your right hip. Your knees can be a little close together. They could be a little wider. Find a sweet spot for you. More of the weight's going to be in your right sitting bone. Your left sitting bone will probably be up, and that's totally fine. We're going to take a little rotation around to your right. Again, that feeling of your hands just lightly supporting you. Your right hand behind you, your left hand to your right knee, and breathe your breath. It might be interesting to think about even here your shoulder blades softly moving away from your ears. And again, just seeing if there's any room through that front body to feel your breath. And then when you inhale, we'll come on back to the center. And when you're ready to exhale, we'll do a little flip flop of the legs. And a little more weight through your left sitting bone is normal, just in the nature of the shape. But make sure you're not too wobbled over to one side. You can always pad up a little bit more under that side so you're able to be a little more upright. We're going to anchor through your legs. As you exhale, we're going to rotate around to your left. See if you can feel the whole length and the path that your breath in takes. The whole length and the path that your breath out takes. And then when you're ready to inhale, I'll dial it back to the center. All right, so here's where I'd love for you to gather up some props. If you've got 2 or 3 blankets, that would be great. All right, so, and your chair. Maybe the most important part, your chair. Or whatever you're using as a chair. Could be the side of a couch, side of your bed, as long as your legs comfortably go up there. An ottoman, all of that's good. So if you have 2 blankets, in some form of a rectangular shape, you'll place one on your chair and roll it up just a little bit so that your ankles will rest here, your calves will rest here. And then your other blanket will be here, right in front. If you have 3 blankets, I just happen to have a third nearby, you can stack that on top for a little bit higher lift. Now the edge of this blanket is where the bottom tips of your shoulder blades go. And if you outstretch your armpits will be above this fold. Then your tops of your shoulders, your head on your yoga mat. So we're getting a little chest, passive chest opener. So you'll wiggle up, letting your feet come to rest, your ankles on that little blanket roll. I'm putting my tootsies through the back of my chair. And then I'll wiggle back a little bit. My thigh bones, you'll notice, are not straight up and down. They're a little on an angle, and that's fine. And I'm just going to hook those bottom tips of my shoulder blades right on that blanket edge. The back of my skull, the back of my shoulders are on the ground. And then invite the arms out like a T shape here. Again, my armpit will be above the line of the blanket. If you have 2 blankets stacked and that's too much, take one out. So this is less about creating a deep stretch and more about creating just a soft path of the opening. And so here, friends, once you feel settled, you feel content with your setup, take a moment to feel now the release of all your muscular effort. Let your body start to heavy. In these first few moments, something becomes apparently distracting, uncomfortable. Make a little switch. If you need a little more support for your head, you could fold up your mat and bring the earth up to meet you, or get another little pillow. And then return to softening your face, little unhinge of your jaw. It's so still that all you can feel is the gentle rise and fall of your breath. As you breathe, see if you can allow the breath to come effortlessly in. See if you can allow it to effortlessly leave. And bringing that gentle, light attention to your breath, that anchor, that whenever your mind begins to wander and you notice it, you've got this simple, elegant anchor of your breath to invite you back. Feel your next breath in and feel your next breath out. And as you breathe your next breath in, and begin to draw your knees toward your chest and gently roll on over to one side. So let your top hand find the earth and use that for support to press up just so we can make a little shift of some of our props around. can lose your chair and keep your blankets, and we'll bring our blocks in. We're going to set up for Shavasana. And the offering that I'd love to share with you is Supta Baddha Konasana. If this looks like a nice Shavasana, you're welcome to take it. By all means, take a Shavasana that you love if this one doesn't work for you. So I'm going to take my blanket very similarly as we did at the beginning of class. I'm going to fold it in half along the long waist to make a long, thin blanket fold. I'm going to place that down the center of my yoga mat. And then with my second blanket, I'm going to make it the same shape. I'm going to run it across, just a simple pillow for my head. And then I'm going to come to sit in front. I'm going to bring the bottoms of my feet together like we did at the beginning. And on any height, you'll wedge your blocks underneath them. You'll ease your way back, the whole spine supported. And so when you're here, there shouldn't feel like any stretch in your inner thighs or any stretch in your outer hips. If that's the case, turn your blocks up a little bit higher. So we're always thinking about how do we bring the earth up to meet us in any restorative yoga pose. If you're chilly, cover up. You can even put a little cover over your eyes. And again, let the arms find a just nice, easy place to rest. Feel the weight of your thighs releasing. And just notice the gentle opening through your low belly, higher up in your abdomen and into your chest. Imagine each exhale as it leaves you, just softening. The muscles of the belly, muscles of the chest, all of that very soft. Softening any other holding anywhere else. And as you soften, you're creating the environment for deep rest to arise. So allow yourself to rest and to rest within that gentle ebb and flow of your breath. keeping your body just as soft and still as it is right now. Feel your next breath in and feel your next breath out. And when you're ready to breathe in, very slowly begin to guide your knees back up or bend your knees from wherever they are. And when you're ready to exhale, gently roll on over to one side, curling in that little ball-like shape. Maybe invite a couple of breaths here, so it's a really slow, sweet transition. And then when you're ready, you can feel your top hand on the earth, and we'll use that for support to press all the way up to sit. You're welcome to sit up on any prop that you have to get that upright pelvis, upright spine. You're welcome to soften your gaze or close your eyes, and we'll just sit for a moment, dropping back into the sensation of your breath breathing you. Letting this anchor of your breath help you return again and again and again. Just this moment, just this breath. And as you inhale, feel your hands join together in Anjali Mudra, prayer mudra. When you're ready to exhale, let that bow you on over to honor your light, to honor the light that's all around you. Namaste.